people are watching.
Are they? And I guess we are on.
Yes.
So, hey everybody, welcome back. David Eon and the stunning Miss Lady Pop Hunter here with another Saturday night live, Saturday night special, Saturday night event. As just coming off of the retro toy swap
Yes.
that we went to this morning.
Today. Yeah.
And then, of course, there is the Conyers toy and comic show tomorrow.
Yes. Hey, Kamian.
Yep.
Yeah.
You said hello.
Hope everyone had a very uneventful week. Week after Thanksgiving, you're going back to work, getting back in a groove for the next few weeks, and then you'll be off again for Christmas and New Year's.
Maybe, because some people work on those days.
Yes, some people do go to work. Hey, Nerd. Oh, thank you for liking the new look. We try to move around a little bit so you can see something a little bit different.
Yeah.
So that's what we try to do. Hey, Reynard.
Renard is here.
So again, hope you had a very uneventful week and it wasn't nothing
unless
stressful.
It was cool, like you won the lottery or something.
Yes, it was eventful in a way that brought you a lot of joy and all that. Yeah. Love the new look.
Says Robert.
Thank you, Robert. But yeah, today was filled with going out. It was so freezing cold, but we went out.
Yeah, at the start of it, it was like 30 degrees. And remember, this is an outdoor show.
Yeah.
And so there wasn't a lot of moving around at the beginning, but it gives you an opportunity to possibly find some good deals, which we did.
Yeah.
And of course, we'll get the video up when we get the chance. Buna wants to know if we had fun at the toy swap.
Yes. And Stone Sour likes the new thumbnail. Thank you. I found a website that you can make thumbnails. So I've been messing around with it. I put a lot up on my channel for the Christmas and holiday specials. I use it a lot there. So I try to use it for this one. And I'm going to try doing that, just to make us look a little more refined, not so rough, but more refined, like we got some class.
Yeah, which is a lie. But
hey, Pastor.
Pastor Rick is there.
Hey, Pastor Rick.
Mickle Staple.
Yes, hey, Mickle.
He said he uploaded the Popeye stop motion video, came out pretty well.
Oh, good.
I made all the water and buildings and, of course, the boat.
Okay, so make sure y'all go over to Mickle Stapler 4's YouTube page. He got some stop motion up. Let's go over there, watch it, support it, and all that, and see what he got going on. So I'll try and make a note to go and check that out. Yeah, I got my thing. I got to get my ink pen. But yeah, check that out and give him a like and tell him that you dropped by and all of that. Give him a subscribe.
And Blue Splash is here.
Hey, Blue Splash, how are you?
Union says they're going to Walmart. Went this morning. Clearance is full of NECA from Ninja Turtle to Hard to Predator.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, you'll see in the video when I get it up too, because of course we did film. People had.
Hey, Retro.
Retro is here. People had tons of Marvel Legends, Star Wars Black Series, Hasbro Power Rangers, stuff like that, like $10 sealed in the box.
Yeah, and it still had the Ollie sticker.
Yeah, I mean, just trying to get rid of them. The one guy, you can even hear him. He's got like all loose Marvel Legends on his table in bags, including a lot of the Build-A-Figures. And he even is telling me, "Yeah, I don't want to see one of these by the end of the day. I'll burn them for heat at this point." And it's like, wow,
that's a shame. Yeah, we do have everything sitting here to show. Of course, we showed it at the end of the video, so you get to see it there. And so yeah, we're
we
about
have all
to,
sorts of pickups. So I got other pickups.
No problem, McNichol. And for anybody in the chat, if you have a channel, and also, McNichol, I keep calling you McNichol. Mickle
Stapler.
I don't know why I'm calling
just
you
making
McNichol.
It up.
Put your YouTube link. Put your YouTube link up so that people can check it out too. So do that.
Robert likes the sweater.
Oh, thank you.
But Anyway, yeah, I mean, I had my own pickup stuff that came in the mail. So, Thunder the Barbarian, and I mean, these are off of like the Amazon Black Friday or whatever the hell thing, Cyber Monday, blah blah blah, because it's the complete series, which I haven't seen this since I was a kid, but I mean, they were like $10 or something. You can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Herculoids, which I haven't seen since I was a kid either. And that's a 60s one. And I'm hoping it's going to hold up as well as the Johnny Quest did, because the 60s Johnny Quest was pretty good. The 80s one was crap, but the 60s Johnny Quest was excellent. And then, of course, the original Space Ghost.
Oh, yeah. I've never seen the original Space Ghost. I've only seen Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to watching that.
Yeah. So, while they were on like blowout clearance, and we have a Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
I'm not hung up a lot on Blu-ray because everybody's like, oh, well, you should get that on Blu-ray because I have a lot of stuff on DVD. But I mean, you're talking to somebody who grew up watching a 13-inch black and white cathode ray analog television.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Blu-ray disc. I'm not that worried about it as long as I've got a nice clear picture and sound.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm not gonna go totally. What do you call that, video file? Because I know that the people, there's big time audio files.
Yeah.
That'll have like 15 pressings of a record, and they'll tell you, well, pressing number 4 from the UK is actually the best sound quality. And
I'm not an audiophile. I have a lot of records.
They know the difference.
I just want a good record that I can hear. Now, I did put on. We got a Genesis record. It's live. And the sound quality was awful, and it's not my player at all. It was the record, and I cleaned it, and it just sound awful. It sound muffled. It sound like Phil Collins wasn't nowhere near that microphone, and then it made me think of the one guy that I watch all the time. That dude will criticize every record. This is just awful. Let your ears be the judge.
Pressing that he's talking about.
Yeah, he's talking about the pressing.
I challenge you to listen to both pressings of the record and show me that I am wrong.
Yeah, and that was the first time I actually realized what the guy was talking. Because he doesn't. He never.
He's serious.
Yeah,
he knows what he's talking about, though.
Serious, but I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? What makes it so bad? And then I heard that one from Genesis, and I'm like, this is obviously bad. This one was obviously bad. You could not know that this was a bad pressing. All the others, as long as it played, don't skip, I'm happy. McNichol's been going to sleep to the
There you go with McNichol again.
Oh, God.
And Munin says, heard earlier Hasbro exclusives have been showing up at Ollie's. I'm not sure. I haven't heard that.
We don't have an Ollie's near us. So when we're in a town that we don't normally go, we try to go to Ollie's. I like going to Ollie's because they got great candles for cheap.
Yeah. And Mickle says, call me Mickle. It's easier. It's okay. It's okay. Try to catch up a little bit.
Yeah, let's catch
Blue
up.
Splash. He says he found a place in South Carolina in Greenville.
Ooh, okay. My cousin live in Greenville, and that's where the retro toy, the retro toy show is. Okay. They're not bootleg, are you? Are they?
No,
those
these are original. Yeah, those are the ones from the Amazon. They're the real deal. And Blue Splash.
Got a new place. Once I found that, I went to Toy Federation in Greer and bought some more Transformers
and
to celebrate.
Munin says that's eye-opening. Vendors just want to be done with Marvel Legends that bad.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he said, hey, Patrick is there. I'm pretty sure he said it while I was recording. So if it's on there, I'll leave it on so that you can hear him say it. And then I say something like, are you going to set the whole table on fire? And then he says, no, the tables at least are worth something. So, yeah, I'm serious. And I'm pretty sure it's on the tape.
Robert loves his Blu-ray. Yeah. And never liked any live. I don't recordings. Like live. Okay. If it's
Crosby, Stills and Nash was really good live though. That one album. It depends on the band, because sometimes they really nail it, and sometimes it's awful. It's the truth.
It's true.
But some bands are just really good on stage.
Yeah. Now, if it's Christian music, gospel music, I love it live. For some reason, they got the audio and everything is just dialed in perfectly, and it sounds good. But if it's a R&B band or group, a rock band, pop group, and it's live, it sounds bad. Now,
Zeppelin was good live too.
On YouTube, when they were at their prime, and so was The Who.
Yeah.
I don't know about on the record.
Yes.
But when you watch them live, like a video recording on YouTube, they were good. But then I heard Led Zeppelin in live, I think it was in the 90s or early 2000s. Straight trash.
Munin says, if the comments in your video, it's going to be in my favorites. I'm pretty sure, like I said, I'm pretty sure I was recording at the time. So if it's on there, I'm going to leave it.
Okay, go ahead.
So I got this in the mail this week, and that is the 1977 edition of the Colonel Sanders Kentucky Fried Chicken Bank. Chalk white, still has the stickers because that red stripes on the bucket and the tie are stickers. Uncut, 1977 edition. I believe they only did this in white. Unlike the other one that I showed you last time, this is the 72 edition. It's larger and it came in multiple different colors.
Okay.
So
that's a big difference.
Okay. Yeah, it's a big difference.
Yeah,
you
in
see
size,
the difference in height too. He's like almost 3 inches taller there. So they shrunk them down for 1977. They got cheap, but still, even finding them in this condition and with the stickers intact is really difficult. Really difficult. But that came in the mail today, and we'll show you some of the stuff we picked up here in a minute. You got the Blue Splash, Toy Federation. I asked Toy Federation if they get My Pet Monster. They said they haven't seen that in a long time, and they're pretty rare to come by. Well, they fall apart. There's like
hey, Doll Base.
Oh, Doll Base is here. There's like a rubberized coating that they put over the hands and feet of the My Pet Monsters, and it shreds over time if it's not well cared for. If it's exposed to moisture or whatever, it'll shred and crumble and fall apart. And so they're tough to find in decent shape. Nerd says seeing a group live is excellent. Recording always better in studio. Robert has a white one, looks good. A white one. I read that wrong. And
represent.
Two Old Geek says he's from Kentucky. Now she picked these up.
Yeah,
from the antique.
I really like those. I saw them the last time, and I thought to pick them up, and then I went, and they were in the exact same spot, so nobody touched them. It's tabloid newspapers of Elvis.
I remember the Star,
and they had a table full of just tabloid newspapers of Elvis.
Yeah,
and
Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, that one got Charlie's Angels. But just flipping through it while we were standing there.
Yeah, this was really cool.
Yeah,
it's interesting. And I'm actually thinking about, maybe I'll even do one of those. I haven't done one in a while.
Yeah.
One of those midday lives and just flip through it and talk about it real quick. Sylvester Stallone is in here too. They dog him pretty bad.
Yeah.
But this is the September 1977 edition. And this one is also September 1977.
The National Enquirer. And those things are gone. Because you remember at the supermarket?
Yeah, they used to be in the magazine
stand. At the checkout stand. And you would sit there and read it while you waiting in line for your turn.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's just kind of neat, nostalgic. Yeah. It hits that nostalgic button, even though, it's full of
garbage.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah. But I love Elvis, and when I saw that, I was like, man, that'd be cool just to have a piece of history, even though the majority of the stories were all lies, and you knew it. Like the woman that had the cat babies and all kinds of stuff. They had all kind of weird things. That aliens.
Was the Weekly World News.
But still, it was tabloid newspapers, what I mean.
Look, you could turn ugly fat into harmless water. Turn your ugly fat into harmless water.
Yeah.
Harmless.
While at Walmart, the wrestling garbage was literally falling over into the aisle. Some figures have been there so long, the boxes have actually disintegrated.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. That's terrible.
Wow, that's cool. I saw Elvis in concert.
Wow, custom
wow.
God. Goodness.
Man.
Big Ben, it's after midnight here in the UK. I'm watching this with my headphones while my wife sleeps. Next to me is a storm going on with wind speeds of 90. Wow.
Hope the roof stays. I know
Goodness.
that's right.
Well, glad to have you with us,
Elvis dead?
Yeah. Is Elvis
Not
dead?
to everybody. Some people think he's still alive.
I know.
1:15 in Sweden.
Now, this was a sweet deal.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is a DVD set, right?
This is for you there, K Muni. You're going to love this.
It's the Steelbox Voltron set. And the discs are all in there, and they look good. And Stefan is from Cologne, Germany. Glad you could join us today.
Is there. Hey, Gilgamesh. Okay, go ahead.
It's the Steelbox set. They're all in there. And you know, I'm down for a box set of Voltron. Why not, right? And I was curious. I was like, well, how much? What do you want for them? You know, I don't know. I don't talk about prices too often. $5. He wanted $5 for the whole set.
$1 a piece.
Yeah, $1 a piece. And it's like, well, yeah, I'll take it. I'll take these for $1 a piece. The Steelbook editions, because I don't have Voltron. I didn't have Voltron currently, but I got it now, so it'll go into the lineup. And then, of course, inside there you've got your DVDs. Your fold-out thing and all the discs inside and the booklet and everything. It's like, yeah, I'll do that for $1 a piece.
Yeah, Tupac is alive too.
Gilgamesh says Elvis isn't dead. He's fighting mummies in Texas.
Tupac, I think he lives in the Caribbean somewhere.
Yeah, he's looking for a Caribbean queen.
Yeah, he alive. Voltron is really nice.
Yeah.
Nice Voltron set. The cases look great. And then we got James. Hey, James. Great to see you online. You're the best.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Robert says, still have to finish my Steelbox Voltron. I only have the blue one.
Oh, okay. Well, you got a little bit to go, but
I mean, how can you say no? I mean, it's $1 a piece, $5 for the whole set.
I could have said no.
I could. It's Voltron. Voltron's classic. Voltron is classic. This one's out in left field.
Yeah.
Okay.
Way left field.
This is on left field. That is the original Garfield Dixie Cup dispenser. And there was a guy there. He had a couple of the Return of the Jedi ones in the boxes. The boxes were beat up pretty badly, but this is and it's still sealed. That's the original factory shrink wrap on this, and I'm just like, that's really 80s niche. I mean, 70s and 80s, this was really popular. You had a bunch of these in the aisle. They used to make all kind of novelty ones, like obviously Garfield. They did Star Wars. They did everything with Dixie Cup. The stuff didn't work because, and I mentioned that in the video too, because we filmed already the pickups for when I spliced the video together later. Because my mother had one, and it was a generic one. It was just yellow with some kind of flower pattern or something. Stick it to the bathroom wall. Every time you touch that thing, it'll fall off. You can't. And then, of course, it's paper cups. So when you're out of paper cups, now what?
Yeah, you got to refill it.
Yeah. But I was just like, wow, that just has a really solid 70s/80s vibe. You know what I mean? Brad says his girlfriend and him added to their collection today. They adopted another cat.
Yeah.
7 weeks old. Name is Reese.
Yeah.
He has an older brother named Romeo. And thanks for all you both do for the cats. Yeah, we had a cat named Romeo.
We went to PetSmart or Pet City or somewhere.
Yeah, we rescued him. He was miserable.
Yeah, we bought that cat. They said we adopted him. We paid money for that darn cat. It wasn't a lot, but he was sweet though. Oh, that was he was a good boy. Yeah, he was. And yeah, he got killed.
Custom God said he'd buy that for $1.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, we still have 18 that we're caring for. They all I love seeing them every day, and I check on them, and make sure they're clean and bright and happy. And
the Sonic line.
What's his name? Hobo. He wasn't there yesterday morning.
So David Bye had a heart attack.
I know, because then my first instinct is, did he wander off somewhere and get hurt?
Did the hawk get him?
Oh God,
that owl.
Yeah, right. But because he's always in the backyard, he's always on the porch. He doesn't move. So for him not to be there all morning, he turned up at 11. I don't know where he was. The only other time, twice before he wandered off, and it's because he found a mama cat somewhere that had a litter of kittens, and he watches them. That's how I ended up with the feral mama that we have now that had those kittens. They've all been worked on by now, but she moved into the backyard with them, and he would sit there and just stare, because I don't know. He does that.
On a brighter note, Ken Union picked up the Blu-ray of Demon Slayer.
Swordsmith Village Arc got their hands on Vector from the Sonic line.
Yeah.
Okay. So we get ahead here.
Yeah.
Gilgamesh says, in case you haven't seen, I was talking about Bubba Hotep. Oh, yeah, a movie about Elvis and Black JFK fighting a cowboy mummy at a retirement home.
Totally missed that.
Okay.
No, I didn't know what you were talking about. Okay, I thought you, because there are people that believe Elvis is still alive and all that. Okay, I thought you, okay.
And
okay, gotcha.
G.I. Joe Dave C., he says, Garfield, Bill Murray's favorite voice. Yeah, he voiced the live action movie original.
Oh boy.
Oh Gun Shy.
Oh Gun Shy. And thank you to Pastor Rick.
Oh yeah,
for the kiddie pool.
Made a donation to the channel.
Stone Sour, rest in peace, Romeo.
I know,
Romeo was pretty too. He was orange, just
long
like
hair, orange.
Yeah, like Hobo.
All his skin was the same tone.
Yeah.
So his peds were orange. His his eyes, his ears, everything matched. And you rarely see that. Oh, Fumbling Through the Galaxy is here.
Yeah.
So thank you, Pastor Rick and Stone Sour, for helping us with it.
We truly appreciate it.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
I guess I'll show y'all what I got.
We love them. Yeah, show some of what you got, and then I'll get back to my stuff because I still got a couple of things.
Okay.
We did a lot of shopping. Didn't spend a lot.
Spend no money,
but that's the idea.
Yeah,
is to try to save those pennies.
A lot of money for you.
See a lot of vinyl. That's
Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Yeah. So people had some vinyl really cheap today.
I know. Then I talked all that nonsense about live, and then I get a Woodstock.
That's classic, though.
Yeah, Woodstock record.
Yeah.
Do you have any gold key? Yes, I do. If you should get some, read them. They're great. I'm currently reading my EC comics right now. I am on Shock Suspense. So once I go through that, then I'll go to the next one, and I'll go ahead and read it. I don't have a lot. But I do have a handful
of
that's Twilight Zone.
This one right here is a hidden gem. That's an original pressing, and the booklet is in there. So it's like, wow, magical mystery tour there.
Yeah, and I did pick up a lot of Beatles today. I'm honestly not that much of a Beatles fan.
Yeah.
And I talk about it during the
It depends on the
Johnny,
era.
how are you?
Because we talk about that a lot. Johnny Future is here.
Yeah.
Because there's more than one Beatles. It's like because most people, they hear the Beatles, they think She Loves Me, yeah.
That's what I think of. Because
boy band.
When I grew up, that's
Beatles.
all they played. And I didn't like that.
And there's a psychedelic era. There's a rock era, a pop era. There's different. They went through a lot of different transitions. And you might not like one type, but then another type is like, that's the White Album, obviously.
And I have this one, but my jacket is all beat to death.
But another type,
and it got all this
is complete, by the way.
And everything.
You see the all of the paraphernalia is there, and that's a big deal. Pastor
Rick got a few of the Creedence Clearwater 8-track tapes.
Okay.
Yeah, but I bought a lot, and it had a bunch of Beatles in it, and I play everything.
Yeah. And she listened to it,
and I was like, "Wow, they're actually that actually like it."
The ones that she listened to caught her off guard because it wasn't what she expected.
Exactly. And in excess. Do y'all have any idea how many records you have now? It's been it got to be near 1,000. Yeah, it's like 1,700 because I put them in Discog, and Discog tells you how much they're worth, and it keeps a track of how many you have.
Yep.
So, and that's what I got. That's all I got. Well, I got a sweater, but I don't know.
It's right on the chair. Check this out, and it's
now
not.
This is cool.
It's not like a brand new thing here. This is an older. Yeah. It's a vintage. It's
Public Enemy sweater.
Yeah. See, public. It's a hoodie.
Yeah, it's a hoodie. I'll flip it around here.
But yeah, this isn't from like last week. Yeah, they have vintage clothing.
This ain't the one at Five Below.
No. Check that out. You should wear that to the next record show.
Shoot, I might wear it tomorrow, but I'm gonna wear this to work so everybody can get jealous. Yeah, Cream. I got a couple of Cream albums.
Oh, thank you, Marty Makeup.
Hey, Marty.
Made a
lemon
donation
character
to the channel.
blowing a big red heart.
We appreciate it, Marty. Thank you so much.
They're in good. Yeah, they are in very good condition.
The vinyl looks really clean too. Because I look at all of that. I'll pull them out and look. I'll pull them out. Somebody gave her that.
Yeah.
But that's actually a Vogue Ginny, and it's the Girls of the World Jamaican.
Yeah.
She's missing a shoe though.
Yeah.
But he was like, "Oh, you can have that."
No.
You know why?
No.
Probably flirting with you.
Probably. But that's all right though, because I sure took it and walked off.
But you're so attractive. It's people get weird.
Nerd used to love Public Enemy. I had like every Public Enemy tape.
I like them too, but there are a couple of their songs that are just like when you listen to the lyrics, you're like, nah, it's just not right. But but a lot of this stuff was pretty decent.
Yeah, a lot of it was. I had actually looked up the one song, "Fight the Power," where it says Elvis was a hero to most,
but he was a racist.
But he was a racist. Him and John Wayne, and I'm like, Elvis wasn't a racist. And I looked it up, and they admitted it. Chuck D admitted that wasn't true. He just put it in there because it rhymed.
Yeah, because going back, there was a whole big to do about that way back in like the 60s or something. And Johnny's got to go. Well, we're glad you could join us.
Well, you catch it on the replay.
Yeah. The Jet magazine actually sent a reporter to follow him around, and they did an expose on him at that time, and they were like, "Yeah, this. I don't know who's been saying that, but there's nothing wrong with this guy. No. He's actually really nice."
Yeah.
But
because I one day, like maybe a year or so ago, I don't know if we heard the song, but we were talking about it, and I looked it up while me and David was talking about it, and it's an article written, and it said, and Chuck D admitted that none of that was true. He didn't hear nothing about it. He wrote it because it rhymed and it fit, so he put it in the song.
But
Did you ever come out with those Bible? No, I haven't heard anything about it yet.
I also got another twin pod cloud car, and it's intact. I had one already, but I mean, the guy, it was a giveaway price because I'm looking and he was like, "Oh, you want that? How does $10 sound?" And I'm like, "Sure, why not? I'll have two of them." But yeah, and like I said, I don't normally talk pricing, but sometimes, and the struts are in there. Sometimes the deals are just insane, and I'll go ahead and grab it. And I got this also, which is a micro set. It's the first micro set I've had in forever. It needs to be cleaned up.
Hold on, let me move the thing.
But it's the Hoth micro play set with the little die cast figures. And I've got the bag here with all the parts and accessories and figures, and it is complete, loose complete. Hoth micro set, which is neat. I mean, like again, this is the first time I've had a micro set in forever. But and mine were all boxed, but that's okay. Still works.
Yeah.
So I couldn't pass up the deal. It was a good price.
Yeah, I like Elvis in the Ghetto. I like his version. I've heard another version of it, and it sound okay, but Elvis one sound a little more.
It had a lot of heart.
Yeah, more heart, a little more authentic. Hey, thank you for liking the new
Reston is
thumbnail.
Here. Nerd says, "You remember Flava Flav used to wear those massive clocks? He still wears them.
He does.
And
he's out of sight.
Yeah, he's the only one that survived. Everybody else is kind of faded away, and Flava Flav is still out there making money. Edwin is here.
I don't know how much money he's making. He had that chicken.
He's working.
Yeah, he had that chicken restaurant that went bankrupt quick. Then he had that reality TV show, Flavor of Love.
Oh, please.
I don't know how many seasons that lasts.
He was at the Olympics.
Yeah, he was at the Olympics because he gave money to the Olympians to get there.
He was funding like the...
Hey, Raccoon.
He was funding the... Because at first I was like, what the hell is he doing there? But then I found out he was funding the volleyball team or something. And it's like, okay, well, that's an entirely different story. Munin says Cloud Car for 10 is outrageously good deal. Hoff said is great. Yeah, I mean, for $10, I can't pass it up. I can't pass it up. And the micro set's cool.
Yeah.
And then the figures, I'll pull one out. The little figures that come with it, these are usually, because they're painted die cast, they're usually scratched to absolute crap. But look at that. The paint app is perfect. The paint app is perfect, but because they are die cast figures, they're usually scuffed up really badly. But look at Han Solo on there, on the Tauntaun. Really clean paint app.
Yeah, so Flavor Flav is still alive.
Yeah, he is. He's in commercials actually right now.
Yeah, he's in a commercial.
What is that for? It's stupid too.
It's a dumb commercial. Yeah, but he's in a recent commercial. It's playing now.
Build to the Cloud says, can't wait for the video of the toy swap in Powder Springs. He decided not to go, so I love watching the videos at these events to see what I missed. Well, I mean, yeah, and it'll be on again in February. Hey, maybe we'll run into you there.
No clock, but a smaller diamond studded pendant medallion on his chest.
Oh no. And I have another weird piece, and I've got some albums also.
Hi, Mick.
Because I will absolutely get some great vinyl.
So guys, like 3 dozen of them my parents bought me a year ago. Okay, really? That's cool.
The micro sets.
David got some records.
Yes, of course. Grateful Dead. I've got the Rolling Stone Big Hits. Fumbling says, if you told a 19-year-old me Snoop and Flavor would be Olympic icons, I would have bet a kidney you were wrong.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. It's Paul McCartney Ram.
Public Enemy's not really around anymore.
No.
Chuck D doesn't do anything. Professor Griff, I think he's kind of dropped the whole thing because he was more serious about the whole.
He meant the militant
stuff. That whole militant lifestyle. And that was him.
And they didn't. For them, it was just publicity.
Yeah.
And so they had a falling out.
Oh, did you go for? No, I didn't go for it, but I really like it though.
It does look like her. She had different hair though. The Beatles Help album.
Hey, David.
Nostalgic for the 70s. Oh well, we're happy to do it. He's thanking us for the
oh man
weekly uploads.
Patrick's mother saw Elvis before he passed. Oh, if I could go back, I would see all of those people. I think you got that term wrong, right?
No, that's how it goes? Because it's right there.
Oh, okay.
Imagine, he's looking up at the clouds. He's laying down. Imagine by John Lennon.
Oh, okay.
See, there was some good Beatles. Beatles, Hard Day's Night.
Mm-hmm. This one girl had all these Beatles records.
Queen, News of the World. I'll hold on to that one.
Oh boy, you have to put stuff in order.
I have well, no, because this is nuts. It's the Pac-Man Fever. You remember the song Pac-Man Fever, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But most people don't know that it was an entire album and with multiple songs, all video game related. You only ever hear Pac-Man Fever. That's the only one anyone knows about. And when you look on the back here, it's got Pac-Man Fever, Froggy's Lament, Frogger, Ode to a Centipede, Do the Donkey Kong, Hyperspace, The Defender, you remember Defender, Mousetrap, and Going Berserk. I remember playing Berserk in the arcade.
Yeah.
So there's a whole bunch of songs on here that nobody's ever heard before. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to grab that, especially for what they were asking for these.
Yeah.
It was a really decent pricing.
Yeah, I mean, you ain't running out of space. Just put it in a closet, that spare bedroom. Nobody coming to visit anyway. I'm serious. Shoot.
That's
People
our
always
attitude.
want you to get rid of stuff.
Munin says that the minifigures are in such good shape is shocking enough that they weren't missing is even more so. Yeah, they're often not there, or they're bent, or the paint is scratched all off of them, and those are really clean. Gilgamesh is going to be in Atlanta next week, setting up a boxing ring with his buddy. We'll try to hit up a comic shop or two.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he had came before because for some boxing during that Power Ranger thing. I like the Elvis song, Clean Up Your Own Backyard,
says Patrick.
Yeah, if I could go back, I would see Elvis, James Brown, Led Zeppelin, The Who, groups like that. I would go to their concert, not now. If Elvis, of course, ain't alive, but like Led Zeppelin, The Who, all of that, Aerosmith, I wouldn't see them now. But if I could see them in their prime and go back, or if I lived during that time, well, if I lived during that time, I probably wouldn't listen to them, but I would go now.
Yeah.
If I could go back now, I would go to their concert.
Oh, Gunshine says, when's the next live?
We usually do it on Saturdays.
Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah. Normally, if it's not a lot going on, or if the week was very eventful and it sucked all our life out and it was like a vampire week, we won't do it. But if it was a non-eventful week and nothing went on, we usually have it on Saturdays at 7.
Mick said Public did a tour, kind of tour with Anthrax last year.
Yeah.
Chuck is friends with Scott Ian. Interesting.
They did that tour before, with Anthrax. They did that before.
Eric is here.
Hey, Eric.
And he says, thanks for all you do.
Yeah,
nice to have something to look forward to on Saturday night. Well, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
We appreciate that. Robert says the only Elvis LP I had is the Blue record.
I think I have that one. I know which one you're talking about. Is blue and Elvis is in like the letters look like it's in lights.
Oh, Dalbe says they saw ABBA in 1975 when they were 10.
Wow. The last live concert I cared about.
You know who would be also good in concert that I think you'd like to see?
Who?
Meatloaf.
Yeah.
He's good in concert. I
watch his live performances on YouTube because it's like a Broadway play production.
Yeah.
And I saw one and then he was in, I think, Australia, and he had the live orchestra played all of the music, and I didn't realize that one album was one story.
Yeah.
So we saw, I can't remember what album it was. I don't know if it was Bad Out of Hell, but it was one of his albums. And every song connected. And I never realized that, because when you hear him on the radio or just a song here and there, you don't realize until you see the full production. And it's like, oh man, these songs,
it's a rock opera.
Yeah, everyone was a rock opera. You're like, wow.
Axel wants a time machine.
I want one too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because if one come up, there's a couple of things, and we've talked about that before on this channel. Like, if you could go back in time, you have the knowledge you have now, and you have the finances you have now. You can go back in time anywhere in the world. You can't talk to anybody you can't change anything, but you can go and buy stuff. Where would you go? What would you buy? And we've talked about that before a couple of times. That was a fun conversation because everybody came up with stuff, and of course we're going to all go back and buy the toys we've always wanted, and we're going to buy like 5 pieces of
stuff that's unobtainable now, like trying to find the Colorform's aliens from like 1967. You can't even loose and trashed. They're a fortune.
Yeah, and I would go back to like the golden age and get like at least one copy of every comic book from the golden age, because a lot of it got lost or destroyed, not lost, but destroyed because of the Soti
seduction of the innocent
trials. Where they burned a lot of the books. So I would go back, but you can only go back like 3 times.
Yeah, people don't realize that they had public book burnings in the United States. Right.
I would go back to like like a year before that and buy one or at the least one of each.
Yeah.
Probably about 2 or 3, but one of each at least, just to have and preserve it, like put it in bags and bring it back and put it in bags and boards. Yeah, Public Enemy and Anthrax. I think they did the whole Bring the Noise album, but I know they went on tour. But they've been doing that since like the early 2000s. They've been doing that.
Gilgamesh says they never saw Zeppelin in concert, but they saw Zozo.
I don't know who that
They're
is.
a cover band, and they're as close as you can get.
Oh, really?
And James says they were lucky enough to see Zeppelin at 70 in Montreal.
Oh, yeah. See, that's when they were at the top.
Between the second and third albums, rocked the house.
See, they were at the top of their game then.
Yeah.
Not in 2000 when the music was so loud you couldn't hear the singing.
Nostalgic says, I know you collect in box. Sometimes you make exceptions. Do you have a specific area for loose displays? Not necessarily.
Not a specific area.
Like, I've got the Shogun Warriors. The jumbo machinders are loose, and they're all on the table.
Yeah, and then he got his Star Wars. Behind the camera.
The 1978 6-scale Star Wars.
Yeah, they're loose and in the box.
Yeah, I've got loose ones up there. So wherever it looks like it fits in, that makes sense. Nick found a Bazinga. Couldn't believe it. Dealer gave me such a deal. Do you know which version?
Oh boy, here we go.
And Built to the Clouds want 70s and 80s Lego sets.
Wow.
Oh yeah, the castle sets are pretty cool. And Axel, 50 issues of Superman #1.
Yeah, you'll definitely retire. You retire good off of that.
No. Raccoon, every Amazing Fantasy 15. Here we go. And Doll Base, there's some problem with today's money back in time, and I don't think they take cards.
No. You're going to you can only take cash, but when they see it, it's going to be like their style. You know what I mean? It's going to work because it's Imagine. So it's going to work. It's going to work. So you got to have the cash, and you go back, and when you pay for it, it's only like a dime. A dime don't change.
Bring back gold jewelry, sell it, take the cash, and buy the toys. Because you can exchange it for cash.
Yeah.
See? There you go.
Whatever. Solved. You can go back in time and buy. Yeah.
Make it work.
We're going to imagine. We're imagining here.
Two Old Geeks. He wants Avengers #1.
Okay. I'm telling you, every comic, I don't care what it is, from the golden age, I will buy a copy of each, at least one copy of everything.
She'd keep it all, though.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it, though.
Yep.
Now I would have to buy like 3 to sell one.
Okay.
Yes, you gotta sell one.
3, huh?
I gotta buy 3 because I gotta keep one.
Yeah, and what are you gonna do with the third one?
Read it.
Oh. Munin says if they had the opportunity, they'd shop at KB and take advantage of the deals. Toys R Us as well. Yeah, KB, with that red line pricing, you couldn't beat it back in the day.
But to get some items I regret not buying at the time. Yeah.
So
every copy, I meant to say, every copy.
Patrick, when you go back in time, you'll have to use the money of the time that you go to.
Yeah, the money is going to automatically convert while you travel. It's going to convert. It's going to work out. It's not going to be all suspicious. It's going to work out, but you got to have the cash in your pocket. So if you go at $500, that's how much you're going to have.
That'll buy you a lot of 3 for $1 Power of the Force figures at KB in 1989. I'll tell you that. Doll Base, his father had a small store where they sold corgi toys, cars, and they used to say if you saved one of each, yeah, no kidding, still sealed in the packages. Some of them are worth quite a bit. It depends.
Collecto 6
has a lot of that kind of stuff.
Corgi toy cars. Yeah, he showed us some of his. They're nice. Mm-hmm. Wow, to see Led Zeppelin in the 70s. I know. The name of a demon, or was it?
Another thing that I got.
Okay.
I picked this up. I spotted this right away, and that is the Durham. The Durham 1979 Spider-Man train set in the box, and it looks like it's unplayed with because I did open it up. It's got tape around the edge because somebody sealed it to it's a foam backing, styrofoam. So they taped the edge to seal it. I guess it was meant to be a gift at one point, never got used. So I did lift it off and take a look at it. It doesn't look like it's ever been used. Durham, which is the same company that makes a lot of really crappy, or did knockoff figures. I've shown them before because I have a few. They did have licensing from time to time, and this was one of them. And it's the same. They use the same train set with a bunch of different properties. Like I know there's a Mickey Mouse one. They just changed the stickers, basically. And you never see stuff like this at toy shows. I've never seen any Durham train set at a toy show. There were 2 of them there.
Yeah.
2 different vendors had this set. Two vendors had this set. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. It's weird how that happens sometimes. Where stuff, sometimes the same items pop up. Yeah. And you're like, I never see these. How does 3 people have this?
That's how it happens.
Yeah, it's bizarre. But yeah, I'm actually tempted to open it up and test it because it's a battery operated. I can put it all back together, but it's a battery operated train.
I don't know about that.
But yeah,
I feel nervous.
It's I mean, it's pretty rare. It's not worth a fortune, but it was. The guy, again, he didn't want hardly anything for it. This guy didn't. The other guy did. The other guy kind of had an idea of what he had and wanted a little more.
Yeah, he wanted a mini fortune.
Mick said, watching the video to distinguish between the 3, he picked up the 3rd version.
Okay.
Mazinga. Thank you.
You're welcome. Him out.
Yeah,
he knows exactly what he got.
That's why I put that video out because I wish I had a couple of duplicates because there's multiple versions of all of them. Like Dragon there's 3 versions, 3 American versions. The Raydeen, there's 2 American versions, I think. So it helps to know.
Somebody had one of them Raydeens in the box.
Yeah, he had the Raydeen in the box, and it was, I'm pretty sure that the stickers were not the original stickers, and that's what held me back because I was looking at it and I was like, it looks okay, but I'm pretty sure those stickers were not original.
David liked the Lego when it was more generic. For example, the space sets had hours of fun playing with the astronaut.
Yeah, when you had when it wasn't basically modern Lego sets or puzzles. That's what they are. They're 3-dimensional puzzles.
And figures out of the box to see what they look like. They started the plastic. Okay.
And doll base, some GLAs from Roman Empire would be cool. Okay. You pick up some widow mites. Reston said, I'll go back and map where they buried all those gold coins into blooms and find them today. There you go.
Hey.
Mark Franco is here from Cape Cod. And Stone Sour made another donation to the channel. He wants Dino Riders. Good choice. Tycho, right? Was it Tycho or Tomy? Dino Riders. Fumbling through Galaxy stocks and a lot of startings in the 80s. You all know the ones. Yeah, like
Apple, Amazon,
Microsoft.
Microsoft. Yeah, I would get some of that.
Sure.
If I could go back in time, be the founder of
Amazon Facebook. There you go. And Blue Splash says that's an interesting pickup. Yeah, it's unique. You don't see this. You don't see it. So I was like, the price was right, and I went for it. Build to the Clouds was what intrigued me, watching Highlander and seeing Connor McLeod having that antique store, and that lady who was a sword expert was like, "You have this museum quality, one of a kind, in 1,000 years." Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that was a premise of Gargoyles. The villain in Gargoyles at one point goes back in time. There's something that happens that goes back in time, and he's at a monastery and arranges for them to deliver a package to him as a youth. And there's, I guess, something really valuable in there that he uses.
Gilgamesh want to know if it's metal or plastic.
Oh, it's plastic. We're talking Durham toys here. But yeah, it's a plastic toy. It's all plastic pieces.
Yep, target of opportunity.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. It's like, because I didn't go there looking for this. I didn't know what to expect. I don't know what I'm looking for. But you find some great deals. Found the Steelbox Voltrons.
Yeah, you're right about that, Andorian. But when you come back, it's going to age. Everything is going to work out. You can't be all deep. It's going to work out. When you come back.
That's why you get them graded.
CGC is gonna think that they're fake too, because they'll be like, man, these some crisp white pages. It's gonna work out.
Wasn't expecting to pick this up, but hey, target of opportunity. James says time travel is what drives retro looking designs. For instance, has anybody seen the upcoming Ford Mustang coming next year? It looks like a 65, does it?
Yeah, but not that 4-door garbage they made. I don't know what that's about. 70s meet the 80s. Do you guys have the Mego Ralph Hinkey figure? I don't know who Ralph Hinkey is. Your thoughts?
No, I don't have that.
You know who Ralph Hinkey is?
Ralph Hinckley. Is that that's not let me look.
Really? That'll be nice. Take some pictures and put them up on Facebook so I can see him. Eric got his first statue coming in. He hasn't gotten one in a while.
Okay.
Michael Keaton, Bruce Wayne, from Prime 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah, of course. The Ralph Hinckley was the greatest American hero. No, I haven't seen that.
Okay.
But
1/3.
They made a 1/18 scale Hinckley, but it's not. I think it never got past salesman samples back in the 70s, so they're really rare. Meemaw,
commonplace
greatest
book.
American hero. Yeah, that's what he's telling us.
Yeah, okay.
I couldn't remember. I can't remember everything all the time. I try. And George says, love the channel. Do you have any Playmobil? Yes, I do.
David got Playmobil.
I do have Playmobil. I got one right over there I can show. Munin at $1 a piece. The Voltron DVDs were the best deal you got.
Oh, boy.
Their anime gives them the extra points. Oh, really? Is that what it is? You'd say that if I paid 10 a piece.
How is your 11.5-inch G.I. Joe collection coming? Adventure Team was great. We didn't need no comics or a TV show to have fun with those. Yeah, you just had toys and people bought them and played with them.
That was the same deal with the Fisher-Price Adventure People. There's nothing connected to that. No comics, no TV show, nothing, no movie. And those are some fantastic toys that were made in the 70s and 80s by Fisher-Price.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do have, and this is the, let me see, what year was this? Was this 70? I'm trying to remember what year this came out. I think it's the 76 edition, but it's the Knights Deluxe set. The Playmobil System Knights Deluxe, age 4 and up. And I had this set when I was a kid, and that's why I went and tracked this one down. And vintage Playmobils, the modern Playmobil sets cost more than the vintage ones. You could probably buy this cheaper than you could buy the Knight Rider set that came out last year. It's crazy how that's worked out. And it's a shame also that Playmobil has gone in that direction. of like, let me move the catalogs so that you can see the figures better. But because these are this set's unplayed with, so you see all the chrome is still on their armor, and it looks really good. But they've gone the same direction as Lego, making basically adult collector items rather than toys for kids. This was made for a child's imagination, like the Western sets that they did, and the construction sets that they made in the 70s, and all of those were fantastic. The astronaut set in the 80s with the space capsule and everything, pure imagination, but nobody cares about that. And those sets are still pretty cheap. The modern sets cost a fortune. The modern sets that they make, they had an A-Team van set, stuff like that. That's just trying to target an adult collector's market.
Do you have any toy regrets? Some figures you bought that you regret buying?
Probably anything modern. I get so frustrated with a lot of the modern stuff, especially after doing reviews.
Yeah.
And I've mentioned it several times. I did the review of the Mezco Ghostbuster 4-pack. It's a terrible set. It's clunky, and it doesn't have good articulation, and the accessories don't fit, and the lights don't work. It's all kinds of problems with it. Brand new, straight from Mezco. And I'm like, wow, this is just this is $300 piece of junk, because that was the retail price on that, was $300. And you do the review and you're like, wow, I don't even want this. But then they'll do something like the Nosferatu, which was a pretty decent figure. It's really hit or miss with Mezco sometimes.
Yeah.
Although I haven't gotten anything from them in a while, but I get to a point where I'm just like, I don't want this stuff anymore.
Yeah.
With the modern toy lines, it's, just as an example.
The only ones I regret, and I said it before, I bought the it's that statue. What is it? Start with a T. Tweederhead. I bought the Tweederhead Hordak statue, and I don't care for it at all. They didn't do a good job. Will I get rid of it? No, but I don't care for it like all that. But other than that, everything I bought, I like. So,
Dollbase says G.I. Joe and Action Man was hard to get in Sweden.
Yeah,
they had Big Jim, Lone Ranger, and some Mego. That's still some decent stuff.
Yeah,
though. Yeah. Nerd had the Playmobil Night set. It's a classic set.
Hey, John, how are you?
John McJunkin is here.
Yeah.
Axel says if Tycho Nightglow considered collectibles, the electric racing car sets, they worked amazing in the 80s. Yeah, that's another thing. We looked at a few of those today.
Hey, Art Star.
Those slot car used to be a big deal. Slot car race sets and train sets. And do they even make that anymore?
Yeah, the stores had to make a deal not selling modern
war toys except for models as Dollbase. Oh, they're the ones that like the Ara era G.I. Joes were sold there only if they came without weapons and they had to change the card art. I think that was Sweden.
Yeah, it looks way better. He didn't know Playmobil was still around until he saw it at Burlington a week ago.
The vintage set looks better.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of imagination with that. A lot of imagination. Blue Splash, that's how it is with me and Mondo. I don't even want to touch it anymore. And that they're sick and tired of the figure snapping right out of the package.
Yeah, that's what happened to David with that Masters of the Universe figure. I think it was He-Man figure.
Yeah, the 40th anniversary, taking it out of the package, it snapped in half right across the waist. Could not be repaired.
Oh, Jonah Hex, really?
Yeah, Reston says Jonah Hex, gold version Jonah Hex 2-pack color outfit, same price. Does he have his revolvers? Or did DC give him a hard time about that?
Yeah. Is he selling it on his website? I would love to get a Jonah Hex, but I don't like going to the websites. I want to just find it in a store or a Big Bad Toy store, something like that. I don't want to go to all these different websites all over the place. So McFarlane got some stuff he sells on his website. It's like,
And Nostalgic said he's selling those Playmobil
mm-hmm.
sets like A-Team and Knight Rider, cashing in on nostalgia. I don't buy that.
Yeah.
I think they did a Next Generation Enterprise bridge set too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Build to the Clouds.
Yeah.
Mezco, bad quality. I thought they were the best, but the quality of the Delta action figures is meant to just be shown and not played with, like you said.
Yeah.
And I'm huge on play value, especially if you're going to spend that kind of money. I shouldn't have it break in my hands when you remove them from the package, because I'm going to test articulation,
mm-hmm.
and I'm not that rough on it. You know, people are like, "Oh, you're too rough." No, I'm not being that rough.
Because I watched you. You had one of my figures, and I felt uneasy.
Well, no, because they creak, because they don't expect you to touch them.
It felt like you were manhandling that thing.
If it felt like
nervous.
it was too much, I'd stop. If it felt like it was too much, I would stop, which I did with a figure on one of them. You remember, I was like, you know what, this knee doesn't feel like it's going to go, and I don't want to break it. But you should be, if people use them for at least action figure photography, they should be able to pose the things without them falling apart. Build to the Clouds, even awesome sets like Popeye Budo, awesome quality and accessories, but wouldn't move them around a lot.
Yeah. And I don't think they want you to move it around. I think they want you to take it out of the package and set it on the shelf.
And 70s meets the 80s, doesn't like modern toys. He'd rather have the vintage Knight Rider than the new one.
Yeah.
Sure. Kenner, that's an expensive set.
I know, because I wanted that until I saw the price. And
Dollbase says Germany and Sweden got action team that had no soldiers. Wild West stuff and adventuring worked.
I guess.
Meemaw, you can go to larger scale slot car tracks, but I haven't seen any home scale sets for a while.
We saw two car racing games today. One was a train and one was a car. Mm-hmm. And the kind that go up the wall and come back down. Mm-hmm. We saw two of them today. And you don't see that often at those shows.
I want the set like what Adam West was playing with in that one episode of Batman.
I don't remember.
Did we get to that one yet? There's one where he's got like one set up in this room and the table's like 20 feet long.
Wow.
It's like, oh my God.
You know what we saw? It was like maybe a year ago. It was on Facebook Marketplace. This person was selling a train set. I mean, the whole
God, I remember that
thing. They just took a picture of the room, everything. The trains, the tracks, all of the pieces, even the table it was on,
the dioramas,
everything for like $2,000. And you know that stuff was worth more than that. And
somebody died and they didn't want to be bothered.
And it was like, this is for sale. Everything you see in this picture, you must come and get it and take everything to include the table. And I'm like, wow,
that's someone's whole life. Some old dude was down there for 40 years playing with that thing. You know,
it was a shame.
Yeah,
it was a shame. I wish we could, because I love train sets. I would love to have one, but not that space.
Yeah, that takes a lot of room.
Oh God, yeah.
Munin says, notice at several stores, even the gold platinum McFarlane's figures are sitting around. It seems there's fatigue with modern figure collecting. Well, they won't stop.
No, they need to take a break. That's what I keep saying about toys, action figures, movies, TV shows. Quit making them for like a year, 6 months at least.
Give us a breather.
Yeah, let people get a break. Website only 12 days of
Reston
Christmas.
says, website only.
But in South Carolina at the mall, they had these two old guys rented a storefront in the mall, and they had, I don't know if it was their personal train set, but they had a train set up in that thing, and you can go in there and just walk around. And they had like you walk. They had like two doors. You walk in one, and you just walked around. They didn't sell anything. Nothing was for sale. And you just look at the trains. If nobody was in there, they would turn the train off. But if people came in, they would turn it on, and it would go, and you walk around. And when you walked around, you came out another door, and they had like a tip jar. And I felt so bad, because I'm like, you know how much it costs to buy a store or rent a storefront in the mall? And these people, it was two old guys.
Just trying to share the hobby.
Yeah, they wanted to show off their train set. And it looked good. It was nice. And they didn't say anything. They just you walk through the door, they turn it on, you walk through. I mean, they were there if I guess if you had questions and stuff. But when I walked through there, I thought it was going to be a train, a store that sell parts. They didn't sell one thing. And I'm like, I thought about it. I'm like, these people ain't selling nothing. They just got this train set up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just certain things like that. Like, and we talked about what last week or the last time we was on here about the VFW or the Army Museum, the War Museum.
Yeah, the War Museum.
And how those
Topeka.
two guys was in there and they were just so happy somebody came through. Those things to me just make me just so sad because that's somebody's life, something they enjoy, and they want to share it with somebody. And if their kids or grandkids were in it or would just watch or listen to them, that probably would be enough. But they have nothing. So they rent out a store in the mall. They open up a war museum or volunteer at the local VFW and set up a war museum just so they can display their stuff and talk about it, and hopefully somebody come in that's just as interested as they are.
Yeah.
So they can have somebody to talk to. I don't know. That just make me feel some kind of way. A lot. Oh yeah, cool army stuff. Okay, let's get caught up. I know I went off there.
Blue Splash wants to get vintage Autobots. Yeah. They need to be sealed. Love the packaging art. All right.
You can find them pretty good on eBay. I want to get cheap, I want to get Starstream in the package. That's the last one I want. I have everybody except for Starstream and Bumblebee. I want to get those two. I have Megatron, Prime, and Soundwave. Mm-hmm. Those are the ones that I wanted. And I want to get Starstream and Bumblebee, and that's it. And I'm good. Talking about older toys, did you do not see the kind of quality action figures are made anymore, especially when it comes to actual clothing and costume for action figures like Mego did back in the day. Yeah, that's true.
And Blue Splash says he never saw me crank down on a figure. When you have to use pliers, that's when you got to stop. Yeah. And Nostalgic says, remember, toys made for adults are not real toys meant for play. No,
that's true.
They're art pieces. They need to quit calling them action figures then and call them something else.
Yeah.
And there's I forget who it was. It's the company that makes all of those.
Okay. That's cool.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure figures. I forget who it is, but they don't call them action figures. They call it something else.
Yeah,
they have a different term for it. And I was like, okay, that's a lot more honest.
I think it's art figure.
Yeah, something like that. Because, they're letting you know right off. Because even Mezco, their slogan is pose, play, display. You ain't playing with that. And you better be careful posing it too. Just at least they were honest.
Wow.
Unit says their buddy had told them horror stories about many of his Hot Toys figures, from clothes disintegrating to plastic starting to look like it's melting.
God, jeez. And Hot Toys is expensive. That's like $300. I'm still a sucker for wind up tin toys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meemaw, neighbor built a train that runs around the house, then threw some dog doors in the yard and back in the house. It's impressive.
Wow. See, I would love to see that. Why would anyone set up in a mall if they're not intended on selling it? Because they wanted to show the display. Yeah. Those people didn't care about selling anything. They wanted people to see their train set. It was two guys. They loved trains and they wanted to share it with somebody. And they figure if I go to the mall, somebody's going to walk by and they might come in and look at my train set. And that's all that was.
Yeah.
They just wanted somebody to look at it. I go to things like that. There's one here, but it's a hobby store, and they specialize in trains. And in the back, they got a setup. I think we did a video with it, and they got a nice little setup. And you go in there, and then go around the room, and they have all of the dioramas and everything. It's really nice. But these two old guys, I guess that's all they could come up with now. Let's go to the mall. And they rented out a mall store.
Yeah.
And that feeling from a lot of vendors at the old flea market or small festival with vendors that stay there all day.
You see that at a lot of those places. You wonder, or like the antique mall, like, do these people sell anything? Or are they just putting it on display in here? Because this stuff's not going to sell.
They price it so high it'll never sell.
That'd have to be a G scale. If they've got a train that runs around the house that can run outside, that's G scale.
I don't know nothing about
I think so. Gilgamesh says, no one in my family cares about the collection. No friends do either. I collect for my own enjoyment.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel bad for people that want to have someone to share it with and can't.
Yeah. Figure arts. That's what.
Are they the ones that make the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? I forget who did it.
Oh, okay, they talking to each other.
Yeah. You're probably like 50 behind anyway.
I know.
And Munin says, Super Action statue. Okay. He says, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure figures, Super Action statue.
Okay.
John says, in Rome, New York, near Utica, we had a toy store called Toy World. They would have Lionel trains running through the store along with Hot Wheels and Hot Wheels racetracks.
That's cool.
And I love the 80s. Always great stuff here. Always great to see you guys live on the air.
Thank you.
It's Saturday night. That's right. As we catch up, Dollbase says, melting figures of plastic clothes that disintegrated are quite common. They didn't think of items should last for 40 years when they made them. Yeah, but I mean, all of my Joes, their outfits are fine. I've got 60s and 70s GI Joes soldiers, soldiers and adventure team figures, and their outfits are crisp.
Oh, David, he said let's avoid talking about Mezco, Super 7, Mondo, etc. He's trying to stay positive and resist going on a rant.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want to talk about them either because I'm just real disappointed. And I was a big fan of never Mezco, but Super 7. I was a big fan of Super 7.
Yeah.
And I like Mondo. But the stuff I got, I'm keeping. I don't regret nothing I bought, but I'm not getting no more. I'm going to keep my money and do something else.
See, like, here's my French resistance fighter.
Flea market, but I don't care if I sell something. I just want to share my interest.
Still holding up really nicely there.
Yeah, look at that.
And there's his...
Even the shoes.
Yeah, his unused metal. Because it's not even bent. And his sealed grenade pack. But yeah, I mean, he's still nice and crisp. He looks great. You know, the clothes are not disintegrating or anything.
And what year did that come out?
Like 65.
That's older than you.
Know what I mean? Look how thick that denim is.
That's older than most of the people in the room.
It's like 65 or 66.
Yeah. That's over 55 years old. And the clothes still fitting.
Yeah.
And it's not disintegrating. So it's just the quality of stuff. Actually, you both mentioned the Super Action statue Lisa figure many months back on your weekly roundup. Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's just, or for example here.
In today's world, to have platforms like YouTube, etc., for sharing our interests. Yeah. And that's how a lot of people get their outlet, by sharing it on places like YouTube and things like that. So then you have like these chats, you'll get comments and stuff like that, and you can talk about it. You can have collaborations, and people can come together and talk about it. And that's your outlet. But when I saw these guys, that was some years ago, way before YouTube.
Yeah.
So, all they had was the mall.
That's, of course, Indiana Jones from Kenner. And he's wearing a pleather jacket. It's intact. It's fully intact. So how come the one on the Terminator figure from Hot Toys is falling apart from like 2 years ago? You know what I mean?
Dollbase has a 40th anniversary G.I. Joe helicopter pilot, and his jacket is very sticky.
Oh, see? That's what we're talking about.
in the past, I am sure I wouldn't have been able to share things like my love for the secret of Neopets and weird antiques and antiquities.
I
No,
remember Neopets.
you wouldn't have been able to. I mean, now we're better off. We have an outlet for that.
Yeah.
You got cons, you got shows. I mean, they always had cons and shows, but you had to hear about them and find things. But now,
Yeah.
now
it's all out there.
Yeah, it's all out there. And again, you got YouTube. If you we like records, we watch some record people, vinyl people, comic book people, toy people. You can watch anything, whatever your interests are. You can just sit down, pull it up, and watch it.
Yeah. Blue Splash says that's why they moved to South Carolina, wanted to get with more collectors and people like-minded like myself.
Yeah.
Go to more conventions. Yeah, and there's a lot in the tri-state area.
Mm-hmm.
Unit says, considering what Hot Toys charges for their figures, they shouldn't be falling apart in a few years, sometimes even less, especially when the collector almost never even touches them.
Yeah, you might touch it
and
at
this
first
is stuff,
to pose.
Yeah, the loose ones. I mean, those Joes, somebody's had their hands on them. They're not in the boxes. They're loose.
Yeah.
And their outfits are intact. You know, it took a lot to wear them out. Yeah, Nerd says Rise of the Nerds. Is that what it is? It's just the quality is just not there anymore with a lot of the modern stuff. And, look at the QC issues, like the Dungeons and Dragons that came out from Hasbro. And their wrists and arms were breaking fresh out of the package.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw them today, by the way. If you watch when I get the video up and you watch it, you'll see that several of them, there was a few vendors that had them sealed $10 a piece.
Yeah.
Because they bottomed out too.
But you can't really talk about the prices because everything in here was on clearance.
Yeah, so at some point
they were on clearance.
The trick is, in 20 years, will anybody want those? Like they went back and looked for all this. Is anybody going to be 20 years from now going back and saying, wow, I really want to collect all 974 Black Series figures, or 12,433 Mattel WWE John Cena's, or however many they got, because you saw that one guy had 80 different John Cena's or something. It was crazy. But
this one YouTube guy,
it just strikes me that when people always want to go back to the original versions. That's why even now most of the 90s Star Wars figures don't hold up. By now they should have jumped off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If that was the case.
Years.
And they haven't. The majority of them haven't, especially the deluxe ones that have the G.I. Joe Hall of Fame bodies.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who, man, they thought they were going to break the bank. Oh, I'm going to retire off of these, and then they can't get $10 a piece for them now. And it's been decades.
Yeah, 30 years.
But anything made in the original run, game. People want to find it. If it's because Exo Squad was on clearance. Mm-hmm. Exo Squad means something to people. They'll go back and look for it, and the Exo Squad figures are worth quite a bit.
Yeah,
they're expensive.
They are. I was lucky, but they're expensive.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's my question though. Is anybody 20 years from now, 30 years from now, are they going to be looking for
Star Wars Black Series?
Yeah, or Marvel Legends or whatever.
Yeah.
Even the Toy Biz don't sell for much. Unless they have a Build-A-Figure from the later in the run, a Build-A-Figure part that was popular might be up there. But Dollbase says they got their first Big Jim Winnetou from 75 left, and he's still intact. I know there was a lot of problems with melting a Big Jim in Cindy when the bodies touch each other. Yeah, you do get that. That can happen. That can happen with the deluxe Star Wars figures. That can happen with Mark's Best of the West accessories. You see that with Ideal Captain Action. Certain types of plastic in contact with each other, and they have that melting effect. But you can find that stuff intact, though.
Any Easter eggs today? I don't know what that
No,
is.
just Santa's been back there.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah.
But that's been shown before.
Blue Splash thinks the articulation is overly done on some modern figures as well.
Really?
Nostalgic says my resistance talking about modern toys like Hot Toys is beginning to weaken. And there's Display Name joined us.
Hey, Display Name. How are you?
Dalbay says, no, they're the bad guy that collects Mattel made to move and equip them, and even the latest Ken got grip hands. Nostalgic said the short answer is no one will be collecting the modern stuff because we who are nostalgic will be dead.
And we actually did a video about that. You know, who will collect modern toys, like the toys that are made today in 20 years? Who are going to collect the toys that are made, let's say, from 2020 on? In 20 years, let's say 2040, will anybody be looking for those toys? Will anybody care? Is anybody going to want it? Even the comic books.
Yeah.
Comic books that came out, let's say 2010 on. Will anybody be looking for that in 2040?
No, they're still going to want the old stuff.
Yeah.
Anybody who's going to be interested, if there's a franchise anyone's interested in, they're going to want the oldest possible version if they can afford it. You know,
James is 72 and retired, and except for a couple of friends, you guys and your audience give me the feeling of being a part of a toy collecting community.
Well, good.
Hey, Chance, how are you? Well, we're glad to hear that, James. I mean, that's all we want. Yeah, that's all we want to do is come together, share.
Yeah.
Bring people together with a common interest. I mean, there's a lot of things we disagree on, but this thing we do agree on. And that's what we talk about. We have fun, it's lighthearted, whatever.
Yeah. And Nostalgic says, checking in, where are you guys with the Ewings? Oh, Lord.
So Miss Ellie is back. And it's the new It's the new Miss Ellie. She's back.
Yeah.
Clayton is feeling some kind of way because he's living in Jock House, which I don't know why he's feeling some kind of way because he knew Miss Ellie was
he just realized he's an idiot. That's why.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Because he knew she was never going to leave that house. And he said, oh, I'll move in here and everything. And now he's feeling some kind of way. He want to redecorate the room and all of this. Miss Ellie, I don't think she feeling that girl, that new girl, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
I don't think she feeling her. That's about all that's going on. Pam is obsessed over Mark, and Mark might still be alive, but then she's gonna go out on a date with another guy, but she's still in love with Bobby.
Pam's stupid.
But she didn't want to marry Mark anyway. So it's like, woman, make up your mind. What do you want to do? You love Mark, you don't love Mark, you want Bobby, you want to date another guy. Figure something out, you know?
It must be nice to bounce back and forth from the swimming pool to shopping trips.
That's all they do.
Somehow she's a CEO at Cliff's company.
Yeah.
I don't know how she finds the time.
Because every time you see her, they're either at the pool or going
shopping or sitting in a fancy restaurant.
Man, I want to go shopping every day. Oh, let's go shopping. Oh, I'm feeling kind of down. Let's go shopping.
Yeah, let's go to the pool.
I'm very happy. Let's go shopping.
To the most expensive restaurant in Dallas and run into people that we don't like, that somehow we don't expect to be there.
Because Dallas is a metropolitan area. How many restaurants? Everybody goes to the Oil Barons restaurant?
I guess. Yeah, give me a break.
Decades from now, and here we go.
Newton wants to talk about anime figures. That's okay. Build to the Cloud says they're going to be looking for original properties that hit it big, stuff like that. New and popular right now with the 7 to 15 age demo. That'll be the next collectible worth anything in 25 years. And likely early 2000s nostalgia is kicking in now. Well, actually, the 90s stuff is just starting to pick up.
Yeah. Hey, Axel.
Oh, he was there.
Oh.
He says, unless you're a millionaire, then you don't mind pose, play, display. I guess
so.
Pose, play, display.
Because then you can just buy another one.
Dollbase says, wasn't there a Superman action figure in the 30s? How did they survive? There was. It was Ideal Toy Corporation. It's the original action figure. It was made of wood. It was jointed wood, but it was strung through.
Oh.
It was strung together. It's kind of bubbly looking. It's weird. But they made Superman, Popeye, and Pinocchio. The Popeye and the Pinocchio you can still get pretty cheap. I think the Pinocchio is the cheapest one if you were looking for it, and the Superman is the most expensive. If anything, because kids got them wet or whatever, the string fell apart, and you just got to restring it.
Okay.
It's about less than roughly a foot tall, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. I believe it was the Ideal Toy Corporation that made those. We saw one guy had one for sale at a show a couple of years back.
What, didn't he want like $20,000 for that thing?
No, he wanted two, but he was negotiable. And I think his was restrung. It's just that the paint app on it was really good. And it's things like that you kind of expect. You're not going to find the box, and you're not going to find the original stringing, and you probably don't want it because it'll probably be rotten. Yeah. But again, moisture and whatever. But yeah, that stuff held up. Retro says he's noticing Copper and Bronze Age comic books starting to be sought after. I mean, it's some of the Golden Age stuff's just unattainable for a lot of people.
Yeah, it is.
Especially if you're into horror, and Bronze Age horror is really big because there is no Silver Age horror because the Comics Code Authority wouldn't allow it.
Yeah.
So when it came back in the 70s, that was an opportunity for people to get into horror comics again. And so if you're into that sort of thing and you're like, man, I can't afford to be spending $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a book for if there is any existing copies of this, to okay, I can get the Bronze Age ones. But that's starting to really push that market.
Yeah, because I know my EC, I bought the EC reprints, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, and they had 70s reprints.
Yeah,
70s and 80s.
I have the 70s reprint, and I'm cool with that, and I read them.
Muna wants to know if you've checked any of the recommendations.
We checked out one so far, and I think I told you about it. I can't remember the name, but we did check it out, and it was in Japanese, and we have to check out another one. Yeah.
That was Death Note.
Yeah. So now we got to check out another one.
Dollbase says they're sure they think when you get children, you want to show and give them the toy you had. 80s, 90s Barbies sell good.
Oh, do they? I see them around a lot, but I never got into Barbies. And I didn't have none growing up. I had one.
Splash wants to know if I have any Transformers, or is it just you?
I collect them.
I have a couple of things.
You got Transformers?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I mean,
I got some.
Here. Here's a I got one sitting over here I can show. And it's an original 74 Takara. It's a pre-Transformer, and this is the Watch Q is this one. And this is the watch that turns into a jet. With the original price tag on it. It was originally 28,000 or 2,800 yen. It's never been out of the box. And you see it's supposed to transform into that jet. And this is something that Takara was doing at the same time they were doing the original Transformers. Before they were Transformers, when they were called anything but like her 1974 Megatron.
Yeah.
You see that one is like a boombox radio. And
I would like to get more Takara, but I'll have to win the lottery. So I just got the Megatron.
Yeah, any Japanese imports, they're going to be way up there because a lot of it never left the island. And I mean, most of it was used. You can find something in this condition is tough. It's really tough.
Yeah, Chance, we were talking about you Thursday because that's the day we watch Dallas. And I was like, let me text Chance and ask him how long this girl is going to be on this show. She's getting on my nerves.
No.
And when are they going to figure her out? Because she's up to something. I don't believe she's who she says she is. And she got this like book with pictures and notes and all this kind of stuff. So I think she's an imposter. And hopefully she gets figured out. They don't drag it on too long. But she's just, and JR, I love JR, like so far with her. he's gruff, but everybody has to admit, and even Bobby had to admit, JR might be a little gruff, but I agree with him. We don't know who you are.
And also, he doesn't. He will fight with family, like when he was talking to his son about it a few weeks back. With Bobby, and he was like, "Well, I'm not gonna mess with Bobby right now. He's in the hospital.
Yeah,
I don't do that." He was like, he's not gonna. He wants to be in charge, but he's not gonna hurt a family member to do it. It's not like dealing with Cliff.
Yeah, Cliff ain't nobody
or somebody on the outside. Family's different with him, and I think that's what makes people still like JR, even though he can be a bastard, is because he has an ethical grounding. He's not going to hurt family. He'll always stand by family. And you're like, okay, I can live with this guy. Get it.
Yeah. I mean, even he admitted to God, now his name just escaped me. Miss Ellie new husband, that, hey, you bested me. I tried my best to bring you down, and I couldn't, and I respect you for it. He had to admit it.
Not too many people that can get over on me. I respect that.
Yeah.
I'll let you know that much.
So he ain't gonna really mess with Clayton no more. He don't like him, but he ain't gonna really mess with him no more. I have bought.
Yeah, John's asking if we ever bought an item from a seller we knew was worth more.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time. Like, the stuff I showed today. I paid way less for this than it should have cost.
Yeah.
Everything I have here. Obviously the Voltron steel boxes. This is worth more than $5.
Yeah.
All the time. It's the price is the price.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna sell something, you kind of need to know what you're doing. If you're gonna be a vendor, and you're at a toy show or con or something, and you put those prices on there, because you meant to put that price on there. It's not my problem that you selling me a $200 item for $5.
Yeah.
That's not my problem, because you're the vendor. You got all this other stuff. You looked it up.
And it's not like
you know what it is.
It's not like you're trying to screw someone over. That's a different situation.
Exactly. It's not like some people. Okay, you got an item, and the item is worth $100, and they're selling it for $20, and you're still trying to negotiate it down.
Or I think more like a pawn shop sort of approach that you get from a lot of comic and toy vendors, unfortunately, where you doesn't know at all what something is worth and comes to them asking for a price is different than if they just say, just give me $10 for that. And it's like, okay, and then you look it up and you're like, wow. Not like, what do you think it's worth? And I know it's worth $500. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe $2.
Yeah, now that I think is
dirty.
wrong.
That's being dirty.
That is wrong.
Yeah.
But if you say, again, you're a vendor, you're a dealer, and you got a price on this doll, and you tell me this doll, you're selling it for $5, but I look at it, I'm like, hey, I know what this is. This doll right here about $300. Oh, okay, here your $5. And then I'm gonna walk off. But if you say, how much would you give me for this? Oh man, missing the shoe. This dress is a little bit dirty.
Yeah.
And all of this, I think I can get 50 cents. And good and well, in this condition, you can sell it for $200.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Sure.
But if you're a vendor and you put that price on there, that's what you're getting, because that's what you did.
Eric says he feels bad but the funniest video he's seen on YouTube was us opening mail years ago when David's packages arrived beaten and LPHs were fine. I related to David so much. Yeah. It sucks when you get a package that's trashed. Nostalgic says, I just noticed on Instagram message a bootlegger from September claiming to own Space Giants who threatened legal action against me.
Oh no.
There's profile pictures of a Gorn from Trek. Really?
Chance, you got the worst luck.
Tell him to get in line. Tell them to get in line.
Oh, he said thanks for showing.
Or like this. That's
Oh, let me move that out.
that's
Oh, we
okay.
already saw that.
Yeah,
anyway.
you saw this earlier, but I mean, I wasn't looking for this, and I know. Although the dealer also knew, he gave me a special price on purpose, but it's worth more than what I paid for it. But that's what you try to do when you're, excuse me, when you're out there shopping.
Mm-hmm. There was an artist community back in Southeast Sweden back in the 50s, and they had good prices, but now the community that was around died, and even if you give away the paintings, no one wants them.
Those art communities didn't hold up.
No.
And Nostalgic says their mother and wife still watches Young and the Restless.
Oh, yes.
Oh, God. For a city, everyone visits the same hospital, park, restaurants, and everyone has married and divorced each other.
Because everybody loved Victor Newman. I love Victor. And I remember when Victor, the guy, Eric Borden, he's been trying to retire probably 15 years. And they were going to, he had planned to retire, and they announced him, and they were going to kill his character off. I took off work to watch that. And everybody, all of the fans were in an uproar, and they rode into the station and said, we're not going to watch it anymore. And they had to pay that man all this money for him to come back. And now he has cancer. So he wanted to retire again. He really does have cancer. Eric has cancer. And fans found out, nope, can't retire. They had to write his cancer in the show so he can stay on the show and have cancer, to explain, all of his whatever ailments, if he's off, if he's sick looking. They, if Victor dies, they can't replace him.
Yeah.
The show just gonna end because it's all about Victor now. That's what people come to watch. I love Victor Newman. I used to watch because they had the soap opera network when I used to have cable, and they would show the week worth of Young and the Restless on Friday. So if you waited till Friday, you can watch Monday through Friday in one sitting. I used to sit watch it. I used to watch it. I quit watching after a while because I was like, oh, this is too much. I loved it.
Munin is telling us, of course, that Dakar is now on some of Hasbro's stuff because they collaborate with each other. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Doll Base, it says 50C for Vintage Joe's Army and mint condition good. Yeah, 50 cents.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I'll take them all day.
I'll take them too. I don't even collect Joe's.
Blue Splash, always wondered if you guys go to any 70s or 80s dance night and dress up.
No, we haven't been. We haven't been dancing since we went on the cruise.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, yes, before we got married, we went on a cruise.
Axel wants comic grades. They should change the number system for 9 upwards. 9, 9.5, 9, 9. Technically, they can't be a 10 if someone's fingers have touched it. Yeah,
they give it now.
The grader. And Nostalgic said Donna Reed's playing Miss Ellie after the original actress quit. The original returns to the next season, and Donna sues the show. Donna died from cancer before it went to court.
Wow. Oh, wow. So she was going to die anyway.
That's a mess.
Yeah.
Dollbase said, sometimes when school classes or children sell too cheap, I used to add a little if it's worth more.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then Nerd, when it comes to buying anything, know what you want and what you are prepared to pay.
Yes.
And then we are Art Star. I love Young and the Restless. Still watching passionately.
I haven't watched it in a long time, but like now if they say Victor died, I'll watch it to catch up to see how they kill him off of the show, or how he dies off of the show, if he dies in real life. Because like I said, the character, the person Eric Barden that plays Victor Newman does have cancer.
Yes.
And a friend of mine, she told me about it. I don't know how we started talking, because she still watches it, and she was telling me how he got cancer and they had to write it into the show. So to explain, him and all of that. So I'm just like, wow. That's serious.
And Nerd says, or like you, David, if the price is cheap, I'll take a punt on anything. Yeah, it depends. Like I said, I wasn't walking in there expecting to find a Spider-Man train set from 1978. But, and I don't normally collect this kind of stuff, but, the price was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, okay, why not? Why not? It's something I might have wanted when I was a kid, I don't know where the hell it came from. I had a train set, but I could never get the damn thing to work. Could never get it to work. It was a Tyco set.
The thing is, I never had a train set, and my mom always wanted a train set, and I always wanted one. And she would always say, "I really want a train set. I always thought to buy you one so you can have it and we can have it together." But she never bought one. But I always wanted one.
Mm-hmm.
And me and David talked about getting one, but I want a nice one. I want it to go right in here and all of the toys, it just travels around the toys.
Uh-huh.
It's too much. It take up too much space.
It is a lot.
It take up too much space. I know that. I realize that. So that's why I don't really put a lot of thought into it.
Nostalgic says he's going to have to get a custom Victor Eric Braden figure.
Yes.
Since he was in a lot of 70s classic sci-fi.
He was in what, the Colossal? Was it Colossus?
And he said that may be the first action figure his wife approves of. Uh-oh.
Man, if you find somebody to make that head, tell them to make 2 and I'll send you the money for mine.
Oh, no.
Because I want that. But I want the Victor Newman head, though. I don't want it like the Colossus head. I mean, it's the same guy. So I guess it really wouldn't matter. But I would love that. I never thought about that. But yeah, I would love for somebody to make that head. I would get that. I would definitely get that.
Deflexone says, I'm glad you're still together.
I don't know what that means.
But we've been together for a while. What made me grow the chin hair? She did.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to see.
So Papa,
John says,
reminds me of my Aunt Sylvia. She had to see all the big TV events. JR getting shot on Dallas, Luke and Laura's wedding. I saw Luke and Laura's wedding.
Luke and Laura's wedding is funny because more people watched that than watched Princess Diana's live televised wedding.
Yeah. That was a big deal, Luke and Laura's wedding.
With her 80-foot train.
That was Princess Diana with that 80-foot train.
But more people watched her than watched and I never understood people's fascination with the royal family anyway.
I don't know either.
But, whatever. Michael Staver says we got a cheapo train, but we love it. Cats love it too. Not so fun. They try to kill it.
When the Queen died, I was still at the quilting class, and one of the quilting ladies, she told us, "Oh, y'all got to watch the funeral," and then we came back after the funeral, and that's all she talked about. She talked about everything to do with that funeral, and then they have a Princess Diana quilting group, and every year you make a Princess Diana quilt, and then you bring it to this location and you put it on display. It has to have Princess Diana on it. And she showed us the pictures, and I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? These people don't do nothing but make Princess Diana quilts. And that's what they do.
Apparently.
I'm like, wow. But I mean, everybody got their thing. I don't knock none of it. Hey, you like Princess Diana? Whatever, I could care less.
There was a ton of merchandise back in the day. Most of the dolls looked like crap, though.
And she was always on the cover of the tabloid magazines.
Oh, yeah.
The Forbidden Colossus. Oh, they had a play set. Would be awesome build.
Would be an awesome build.
Oh,
would
wow.
be.
Would be.
Yeah, would be. And John, again, Eric Braden, also in the German billionaire in the movie Titanic.
I didn't see the movie. We saw one version of the Titanic.
We saw an old version.
Yeah, and it was good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
younger. The one with the mustache, because I remember him most with the mustache. I would want the one with the mustache. That's the more classic Victor Newman. I have seen a lot of movies with him in it, but I know him best as Victor Newman. That's when I was introduced to him, he was Victor Newman, and then I saw all of the other stuff. So he'll always be Victor Newman to me.
Okay.
You know. Luke was a rapist. Luke raped Laura in 79 in general. What? And they still got married?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't remember that, but I do remember the wedding, though. Luke and Laura's wedding.
And John says he thinks some Americans still like watching stuff about British royal families with pomp and circumstance.
I had heard some years back the reason why Americans were so fascinated with Princess Diana is because she was a woman that had everything but was still unhappy. And that's why also a lot of people watch reality shows, because you got all of these celebrities or whatever that supposedly got everything, but they're unhappy. So it kind of makes you feel better. That's what I had heard. It kind of makes sense when you look at it in some kind of ways. I don't know. I could care less about all of it.
Yeah, I don't care what they're doing. I don't want to see the Kardashians. Mickle says their cats try to kill it. They also go after the low-hanging ornaments, and 1-year-old cat Bagheera went to sleep in it. He looked too adorable to move him. Yeah, I go through that every night with the cats because they all want to pile up in the bed, except for Uncle.
Yeah.
Uncle,
yes. Oh.
Uncle, he has a spot next to the bureau facing the door, and that's where he lays every night. That's his spot. That's his spot. He wants to sit in that doorway, which is fine, except that Miss Kitty doesn't like him. So if Miss Kitty decides that she needs to leave the room for some reason, she'll let him know to leave her alone by growling at him for 20 minutes first. And he's not going to bother her.
No, all she has to do is walk by.
He just sits there and looks at her, and she just, every step, it's like, oh God, just get out of the room, will you? He's not going to move.
Yes, we still collect statues. I haven't gotten a statue
in a long time.
In years. I doubt it if I'll get a new one. I mean, something
they're hard even to display. They take up a lot of space. They do
take up a lot of space, and they're very, very expensive. So I really, truly doubt it if I would get another one.
Yeah.
There are some that were made that I wish I had.
Yeah.
But I would have to win the lottery to even consider them.
And I've just got the Serpentor there, which of course was a gift. And there's other ones that you look at and you're like, oh wow, I'd love to have that, but then I'm like,
where the heck you gonna put them?
Where am I gonna put it? Yeah. What am I don't know. It seems like a lot. It seems like a lot to deal with.
I mean, they look good. I don't like them like this. I call that open air display. I don't like that. I like them displayed behind a cabinet, a glass enclosure.
Yeah.
Mine are displayed. I only got 3 of them on display. I got more, but I don't like it. I don't like how it's displayed.
Yeah.
But they're up. And that's what we got, but Eric Braden got blown to bits in $6 Million Man.
Says nostalgic. John says it's like when an American president dies and during foreign leaders arrive, our military does the best in putting on big ceremonies.
Yeah.
And they don't really care.
Nobody cares. So the soldiers that's there don't want to be there anyway.
Munin says, I don't think a single sane person wants to watch the Kardashians. Well, then there's a lot of crazy people out there because they sure are popular. We're still talking about Victor Newman.
Wow. He's on your list. So let's stay in touch. Okay, please.
Yeah.
Yes. I want that. Tell him to make 2. I'll send you the money. I'll PayPal you the money.
John says he remembers watching Eric Braden under his real German name in the TV show Rat Patrol.
Oh, he was
as
in
the main
that?
adversary to the team. I have the Rat Patrol on disc. Actually, I found that at the thrift store. It got up like $1. Mickle says we have 3 dogs, 4 cats. Only one allowed in the bed with us is my wife's cat, Bagara. Of course, poor dog whines to get in, but the rules are the rules. She's a pit bull, so a bit bigger. You need a king-size bed. That'll solve the problem.
Our cats get in the bed and then they surround you. So if you got to get up and go to the bathroom, you got to pull yourself all the way up.
It's like someone tried to pin the blankets down. You get weights.
And if you touch any of them, they get mad and start hissing and attack your legs and your foot and all of that. And it's like, why do y'all even have to be in here?
Because they're community animals. And so they're like, oh, nap time, let's go. Because when we start shutting the lights off, they all barrel into the bedroom.
Yeah, they know it's time.
They're like, oh yeah, let's lay down. Yeah, let me pick my spot.
Let me make you as uncomfortable as I possibly can.
Axel says they need a modern version of $6 Million Man.
Do you really want them to make a modern version of the $6 Million Man?
They will ruin it. Remember, they tried that with the Bionic Woman, and it didn't even finish the season. It was so bad. And that was just a few years ago. Yeah, Frankenfrog is here. Glad you could make it.
Yes.
And McNichol says, you guys ever watch a cartoon in the 90s called Captain N the Game Master? I don't think so.
No, Captain and the Game Master.
Okay. Nerd says, call it the $6 Billion Man. You'd have to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if they could do it as dramatically as the original, because if you go back and you watch it, when you were a kid and you watched it, so like a lot of things, when you were a kid, you watch something and it doesn't sink in. And then you go back and you watch it and you're like, wow, I get it now. $6 Million Man is like that. Is actually well acted. It's a dramatic show. And there's things about it that when you were a kid, you're like, oh, wow, look, he threw this. Look, he jumped over that. And that's all you see when you're like 6.
Yeah.
But when you grow up and you realize there's actually a plot and a story, that's different. Sometimes you grow up and see a show you used to like when you were a kid and it's crap. And you're like, how did I watch this? What the hell? Like I've mentioned it before. I went through that with Mr. Magoo.
Oh, God, that was...
I used to watch that. And then, I got the box set and I'm watching it. And I'm like, what the hell is this? This is awful. It's like it's written for 4-year-olds.
I was actually surprised that Dukes of Hazzard wasn't as bad. I thought Dukes of Hazzard had zero plot. Because I remember watching it as a kid. All I remember is Roscoe chasing the Duke boys in the car jumping
over things. Yeah.
That's all I remember.
Yeah, me too.
But then when we watched it, every episode did have a plot. I mean, it was basically Roscoe chasing the Duke
They were
boys.
Fairly rudimentary plots.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing deep.
The show's actually pretty good up until Coy and Vance.
Vance got there.
Yeah, because too much changed at that point. Not just swapping out the actors, but there were personality changes as well because Boss Hogg had a code of ethics. When Cody and Vance were there, he didn't. They made him a real evil bastard, and he hadn't been like that before. But then when the Duke boys returned, and they just kind of brushed Coy and Vance off, they reverted Hogg back to the way he was. They changed him back again. I guess they figured if they made him real evil, that would help to distract people from the fact that Bo and Luke were gone. It didn't work. It made it stand out more, even though as the show progressed, the last season,
had aliens.
Roscoe and Boss Hogg were essentially comedy relief.
Yeah,
there was no more good, although they were still funny together.
Yeah,
they were really funny together. But yeah, it was getting weird. I mean, they had them jumping over oil derricks and
they had aliens
jumping over moving trains. There was an alien episode, which was actually Felix Silva, the actor who played Tweaky. Yeah, that was him. It was like the writing team. They just told him, throw together anything you want. We're going to cancel this shit anyway. Is what it felt like. The last season was pretty bad, but the first few seasons were actually fairly decent.
Frankie Frost said
likes the Puppet Masters.
Yeah, but they're a lot
$3.50 a pop.
Yes.
Yeah, wait till they're on clearance on Big Bad Toy Store, like in a year. John says their family has 3 dogs, 7 cats, a tortoise, a fish, 4 canaries. It's like living in a zoo. If you throw in our nephews and nieces, it's like an insane asylum. There you go. And Nerd says, as a kid, I liked Lee Majors and the Fall Guy also.
We watched some of the Fall Guy. We went back and started watching MacGyver.
The original MacGyver.
Yeah.
Because the remake is garbage.
For some reason, we stopped watching all of that. And we tried watching Incredible Hulk, but it got too depressing. I couldn't take it. Yeah. It wasn't bad.
It was well written.
Yeah, it was well written, well acted, but it was just too depressing.
David Banner is so sad. And Legends has joined us.
Hey, Legends. Yeah, it was just too depressing. And he couldn't get past the fact that nobody cared he was the Hulk. Nobody cared. People knew.
People were willing to look out for him. And he'd still, sling the bag on his shoulder and start hitchhiking down the highway.
And it was like, dude, just calm it down. I wish we could get the General Lee Transformer.
You'd have to get that custom built. Yeah. Somebody would have to customize that. And Blue Splash says, I'm going to get 2 Doberman Pinschers, naming them after the Demolition Tag Team in WWF. Nostalgia. Okay. Yeah. Axel says, family ties, sitcom, same experience as a kid. I loved it, but now, damn, that was crap. Family Ties is not good. It isn't. And, I figured it out when I was a kid. That's where I learned that laugh tracks were bullshit.
Oh.
Is because they had a 2-part special where they went to England for a vacation or something, right? But during that special, there was no laugh track. None. And I watched both episodes and didn't think any of it was funny. And that's when it clicked. And remember, this was when it was still on the air. Yeah. This is when it was a fresh show. It's like, when I watch this, I usually think it's pretty funny. And it's the same thing. It's not funny now. And my adolescent self figured it out. It's the laugh track. The laugh track is cueing me somehow, and it's not really funny. And I've been really hyper aware of that ever since.
We're talking about the 70s TV show.
Lou Ferrigno Hulk.
Yeah, the TV show. Fall Guy only had season 1 on DVD release in the U.S. There are 5 seasons.
They changed the music. That's such a frustrating thing with the music changes. And Mickle, I think Ramen Toys making
they are.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And they're doing Mask and they're doing a few other things. The 30-30 is almost ready.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I said I was going to get that.
Married with Children?
No, the 30-30. Oh. To go with my Brave Star.
Yeah, because you weren't sure after we
I still don't tested. Like that Brave Star.
That Brave Star is not a decent figure. It's not.
No.
And same old thing.
That's one that I regret. I forgot about it. But
the Marshall.
It's not bad. I guess I was looking for the packaging to be different.
Perhaps the artwork was decent.
Yeah, but the packaging is that window box with the flap. I hate the window box with the flap. I do. I don't like
window box.
Yeah, I want the box like what they had or something similar. Not the flap.
Like this,
like
Brave
the
Star.
neck of flap.
That's
That's
the Mattel Brave Star. That's the only Brave Star that counts. I know he's all chunky, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Nerd likes Married with Children.
I guess.
That's okay.
Grew up knowing Phil Collins Genesis, and it's okay, but man, Peter Gabriel Genesis to me is on another level. By the way, happy Saturday.
Oh, the 70s Genesis.
I don't think I ever heard Genesis with Peter Gabriel. I knew he was in Genesis, but I don't think I got a bunch of Genesis records, but it's all with Phil Collins.
And Frankenfrog thought it was dumb cartoons had laugh tracks, like how is a cartoon live? It could be filmed before a live studio audience. They used to do that. I think that's how they did Good Times. John says, speaking of nephews and nieces, he showed some of the younger ones Mego figures, and they pointed out the Hot Toys figures looked more realistic, to which I locked them out. Yeah, let them sleep in the garage, John. They don't understand. They don't understand. That's okay. What are you going to do?
It ain't too much you can do.
There's not anything that you can do, so screw it. But we're going to go ahead and wrap up because remember, I've still got a lot of editing to do.
Yes.
And we've got the show tomorrow, the Conyers Toy and Comic Show. So we'll be headed for, we'll be doing that in the morning. Dutch wants us to come out.
Yeah, we're going.
Yeah, Dutch wants us to come out. He was like, "Are you guys coming to the show?" Of course.
Yeah, we're coming.
Yeah, we'll try to. No, that's not too far away.
Yeah.
So that's easier.
Mm-hmm.
It always helps when it's closer.
Yes.
And then we'll see. I know I've got some information about the next Atlanta comic convention. Yeah, I believe it's coming up January. So, on the next weekly roundup, I'll post that so that people can see when that's going to hit. And, I always try to throw it out if anything that's within accessible to us, even if we can't get to the show.
Yeah. We like to put it out just because people are all over the place. And, you might be able to get there. We might not go for whatever reason, but you might be able to get there. So we like to put it out there. Just let you know what's going on. So.
And Build says this is the first live they've watched this long. We've gone longer. I mean, sometimes we've done a few that have been like
3 hours.
less than an hour. We've done some that are like 3 hours long.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you could make it.
Yeah.
But we'll go ahead and wrap up. Like I said, we got a lot to do, and I've got a lot of more filming.
Yes.
And we will catch you again